Hello guys, it is me again, it's HorrorFan34, and welcome back to another video, and I have been tagged once again. Love doing these tags a lot. They're a ton of fun to do. I'm fairly new to these tags, and I'm already having a blast doing a lot of these tags. I've been tagged by so many people, and a lot of great different categories and things like that. So this will be known as the Apocalyptic tag that was created by Random Horror, and I was tagged by Last Venom 76 to do this tag, and I've already watched his tag. He did a really good job with that. I've seen Sean Urshan's tag. He did a great job on it. So I want to tag two people in my answers. When I do my answers, I'm going to tag Metal Horror Pack and Lisa Loves. I've been tagging them to a lot. So I hope they can participate in this tag, because this tag seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. And from all the answers I've seen from other people, this is going to be a really fun one to do. So this will be the Apocalyptic tag. So let's get started on these 8 questions. Question number 1. It's your last day on Earth. What would you do? If it's the last day on Earth, what would I do? I do a few things. I would go to the mall and go into FYE and stock up as many DVDs as I can for cheap, and get some really good deals and find some really good movies in there. And also on top of that too, I would go to the theater and try to see as many movies as I can before the day's over and the world ends. Because I'm such a big movie geek. I love going to the movies. That's one of my favorite hobbies to do, is going to the movies. And I'm a big DVD collector, so that's another hobby of mine. They'll be the main 2 things that I would do if it was the last day, if it's my last day on Earth. Question number 2. What is your favorite apocalyptic horror film? I know a lot of people always choose Dawn of the Dead probably as their favorite, and I really love Dawn of the Dead. It's a really well done film. It's one of my personal favorite zombie films. One of my all-time favorite zombie films in general. One of the best horror films of the 70s as well. But I'm going to go a little different. It's going to be a really surprising choice, but my choice for my favorite apocalyptic horror film would have to be End of Days with Arnold. End of Days is a film that I've talked about so many times. I did when I did my top 10 favorite Arnold films, and I've talked about it a few other times in some other videos, but End of Days is just one of those films that I always thought was very underrated. I love the whole, because it's about Y2K. It was around that time about Y2K and things like that. I thought Arnold does a great job. It's basically Arnold versus the devil, and it's just in a post-apocalyptic future kind of world. And I love End of Days a lot. I mean, I can go on and on about End of Days, but that would definitely be my choice for my favorite apocalyptic horror film. I know that might not be that might not be anybody else's choice, but that's my personal choice. Question number 3: what is your favorite apocalyptic non-horror film? For me, I'm going to go a little bit more recently too. I mean, you could have gone with any kind of choices for this kind of answer, but for me, the more recent one I'm going to do. I know people consider this more like a horror comedy. But it's more of a comedy film with a little bit of horror in it because it's zombies. But my favorite post-apocalyptic or apocalyptic non-horror film would have to be Zombieland. Zombieland is one of those films where I think it's just a ton of fun to watch. I know the sequel's coming out next year, which I'm really looking forward to seeing. They're finally doing a sequel after about 10 years. What's going to be 10 years when it comes out, because it came out in 2009, the first one. Woody Harrelson as Tallahassee is just loads of fun to watch. The whole scene with him and Jesse Eisenberg in the supermarket, and Woody Harrelson smacks one of the zombies with a banjo, and the whole scene where Jesse Eisenberg is running away from another zombie, and he slides under Woody Harrelson's bat, and then Woody Harrelson hits the zombie, and things like that. Tallahassee looking for a Twinkie, and it's a blast to watch. I love the 4 actors in the film. Bill Murray's cameo is just comedy gold. It was really cool to see Mike White in there from, Ned Schneebly from School of Rock, and it was really cool to see him. I'm like, oh, it's Ned Schneebly from School of Rock. That's pretty cool. I haven't seen him in anything in a while. So definitely Zombieland would be my choice for my apocalyptic non-horror film. Question number 4. You're the bringer of the apocalypse. What 4 fictitious horror characters would you make your 4 horsemen? I easily got to go with Jason Voorhees as my main one. Then I go for Leatherface, Michael Myers, because they're 3 really big guys. And then my 4th choice would have to be Ash from The Evil Dead. You know, Ash is just one of those awesome characters that I love. I mean, him with the chainsaw and all that stuff. I mean, those would definitely be my 4 choices for my 4 horsemen. Jason, Leatherface, Michael Myers, and Ash. Question number 5. Aliens, zombies, machines, or nuclear war? Which do you think is most likely to happen, and which do you think is less likely to happen? I have to agree with what Sean Urshan said when he did his response to this tag, and I would say that machines is the most likely it's going to happen, because you think about nowadays, like with all the technology that's available nowadays, and you know, technology is like a big source, you know, it's like everywhere, like all kinds of modern technology and what people can do with technology, and I say that's the most likely to happen. And the least likely thing that's going to happen probably would be, I'd have to agree, probably aliens, because, you know, I just can't see that happening. But those would be like my 2 choices for the more likely and the less likely. Question number 6. If Armageddon happened, would you stay and fight the 7-year battle or earn your place in heaven? I would have to stay and fight in the battle, so that way I can help out humanity, and I want to see humanity survive, and that way, when I'm done battling, I can earn my place in heaven. I have to agree with what Sean Urshan said. I mean, Sean Urshan put it perfectly, and I could not have said it better myself the way he did. So I have to agree with what he said. So I have to fight to make sure humanity's safe, so that way I can earn my place in heaven. That's the best way I can describe it. Question number 7. If you lived in a post-apocalyptic future, what would you hang on to remind you of the old world? Well, there'd be a few things I would hold on to. You know, my relatives, my friends, you know, all these gifts that my buddy got me for you know, all these years now, all these posters and DVDs and things like that. Like, and also another thing I would hold on to was this right here. That's right, I would hold on to my Eagles Super Bowl champions hat because of the Eagles winning the Super Bowl this year. I mean, that'd be one thing that I just have to hang on to as well to remind me of the old world. You know, the Eagles winning the Super Bowl. When I hang on to this, I get, if I lived in a post-apocalyptic world, I like, you know, when I think about this hat and I hang on to it, I think of the very fond memory I had that night of the Super Bowl when me and my buddy watched it together, and it was truly one of the best nights of my life. I got very emotional because I'm a big Eagles fan. I cried tears of joy. Me and my buddy embraced each other. We cried the whole night. We were laughing, having a good time. You know, and it was just so cool to finally see the Eagles win the Super Bowl. You know, knowing that they have never won a Super Bowl before, and the fact that they did win one is very, very cool. So I'd definitely be hanging on to this as well if I lived in a post-apocalyptic future. And the last question, question number 8. The world is ending. What song would you listen to for the end of the world? Well, I know this is going to be a really weird choice because I know some people would have probably thought of The End by The Doors, you know, this is the end, you know. But for me, I would, if it's the end of the world, I would blast, I'd blast one of 2 songs. One of these 2 songs. I would choose either Philadelphia Freedom by Elton John or We Are the Champions by Queen, so I can think of the Eagles winning the Super Bowl. So those are my answers to these questions. And thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Alright guys, take care.